Reeves, and we are here in Ashland for around-the-clock coverage of the 120th running of the Boston Marathon. We're going to show you some of the sights and sounds, some of the people that support it, and what happens here in Ashland as we run and we watch the Boston Marathon. We are now walking through one of the first water stations. Good morning, everybody. These are all volunteers who are here to hand out water to the runners. There's going to be 30,000 runners coming through here. So there's a lot of water and water bottles and volunteers, and they're all dressed in their Boston Marathon jackets, and they have their volunteer credentials. And we're going to go around this gentleman pouring water so we don't interrupt his important job. So this is just for the general runners. We're going to go a little further past this. Look at all these volunteers. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. All kinds of volunteers. And then we also have people celebrating already. It's a real party here in Ashland for Marathon Monday, especially for the people who live here. They either leave very early or they have their friends over and have a party. So, Jeff, you're an official with the BAA.
Ralph and I are both members of the Mass Track and Field Officials Association. We're also USA Track and Field certified officials, and we are one of a team. Well, we're one team of 10 along each 5-kilometer mark at the elite water stations.
So your job is to?
We have to make sure that the elite runners get the right water. They have prepared water, which is part of their contract with the BAA. We have to make sure they get the right water bottle, whatever. We're watching for someone taking someone else's bottle, someone wiping the table out, someone impeding someone's progress to get the bottle. And we're also watching for wheelchair violations such as drafting, or if, God forbid, something happens, they have to, there's a certain procedure.
Yes.
Well, my house is between the 3 mile and the 5-kilometer mark up the street. So the marathon's been part of my life since. I'm a lifer in Ashland, so I've watched the marathon since I was a pup, and it's a chance to get back a little bit, but it's always been part of, the Stone family heritage on Marathon Day.
This is the elite stop. This is the 5K, and all the elite runners have their own bottles. A lot of people don't know that, so we set up all the tables, and at about 9:30, we're going to put the women will come through first. So we're kind of the officials, making sure that nothing's going on, and no one can choose, they have to pick their own bottle and everything. So.
And personally, is this your first Boston Marathon, or have you done this before?
Volunteered 15 years.
Wow. And do you get to pick where you volunteer?
You do. You actually do. I've done the finish line. I've done in Wellesley. I've done some water stops. So I've been kind of all over the place.
Do you have
for about 4 years, I think.
Do you have a favorite town that you like to work in?
Well, I live in Ashland, so
yeah,
so not too far from here. So
yeah, very nice. Good. Yeah, well, it's got to be your favorite.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
So I would think that the finish is pretty exciting too, to be there.
It is really great.
So this is usually one of the busier intersections here in Ashland on 135. As you can see, we have our public works trucks heading one direction and heading the other direction, as well as Ashland's finest, as well as officers from other communities giving us a hand for security here on race day. Now, I've also heard that you've run this before.
I ran it in 2004, just once.
And what was that experience like?
It was a great experience, because if you want to call what I did running, but it really was a thrill, just from start to finish, and particularly the end of it. You just, you don't think you can go any farther, and you get to Kenmore Square, you get to the top of Heartbreak Hill, and the crowds pull you along, and your final inspiration, if you will. You're in a lot of pain afterwards, or at least I was, but it was great. It was worth it. Maybe some year I'll do it again.
Well, you know that the selectmen have numbers, so if you ever want to, put your name in, we'd love to have you run and raise some money for some of the good things that we do here in town.
Well, my daughter and I have been talking about running one of these years. Maybe we'll do it next year.
Okay.
2017 will be a good year.
There you go. Well, good luck. Thanks for volunteering, and thanks for talking to me. We're here with John Luca of Wine Empire, and he has created some little entrepreneurs. John, happy Marathon Monday.
Same to you guys. Thank you.
So what are you doing here this morning?
We just having essentially coffee and water and soda, for our newest sell team
Your
members.
sales team.
Yeah, that's right.
Why don't we get some of your sales team out here? Come here. And what's your name?
Elisa.
Hi, Elisa. What's your name?
Carmen.
Okay, so what are you girls doing here?
We're selling coffee, croissants, Italian lemonade, and water.
Well, we're making our rounds to some of the businesses that line 135, and we are currently at the Rite Aid at the intersection of 135 and Cherry and Summer Street, and we are here with Linda DiTomaso. Linda, thanks for talking to me. Tell us, what are you doing out here in front of the Rite Aid?
Well, every year we have a big fundraiser for Boston Children's Hospital. It actually runs for 6 weeks, and this is our day that we get to have a lot of fun, raise a lot of money, and just dance all day, basically. But it's an amazing experience with the marathon itself, but then it's very rewarding that we're able to have fun and raise money for Boston Children's Hospital.
Okay. Now, we all know Coach T because you used to be a softball coach here in Ashland, but you still are involved with this.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I've been involved with this since 1992.
Okay.
I think that was the first year the race went pro. And the BAA came to the local areas and needed volunteers. And our deceased and very popular track coach, Bill Kunis, was the one that they approached. And he came to me and said, can we get some softball players? Can we get some, and he got some track runners.
Right.
And we had a group of students at the time who helped out with the volunteering, and we've been doing it ever since.
So we have our security coming through first, and there's a lot. They're really making sure everyone stays safe and that the runners are safe. And we spoke to the people who manage the Elite Runners Water, which is quite a task. Each runner has their own bottle with their own name. They know where it is. So we are at 18:40 in the race. It's a hot day for the runners today. It's going to be a hot race. Oh, and Hoyt Racing Team is going by as we're seeing the Elite Women's trucks. So they have to decide which way they're going to run. Most of them do go to the right, which what we're going to see. And here comes the Elite Women pack. They're pretty close together still. But as you can see with the motorcycles, they will have some people break off soon. Yep, about 15 or 20 elite women have just run by. Here comes a smaller pack coming by us now. Knowles. Yep, these are, yeah. So how we know they're elite is the color of their bib. So these are yellow bibs. If they have a name, they're probably in the top 20. And if they have a number up to 80, they're still considered in the elite. So these are some named runners. Hagley going by, Gorno going by.
When they have a name on there, you know they're really in that top group of people that could contend for the win.
We have our security helicopters coming overhead as well, making sure everything's safe. Yep, I'm sure they are. We have some more named runners: Pierce, Skeels, Barry, Wren. They do have some higher numbers. Some of them are in the hundreds still. Yep, another group coming through. So now what'll happen is we will see women with the elite runner, with the elite pack coming through, and then very shortly the elite men will start, and then we'll see that pack come through. We have now met Pat Levike. Pat, welcome to Around the Clock.
Thank you very much.
He is a friend of Coach T's. Pat, why are you here in Ashland?
I came because Bob told me to come to see the girls I came with pass by, and right after I'll try to meet them at the end. And this is a wonderful place. The ambience is very good and the weather is perfect. Yes.
So you know someone running?
My wife is running, and a friend is also running, so I got a big team of 2 girls coming by.
And where are you from, Pat?
I'm from Bécamo in the northeast of Quebec.
Good to go. So it looks like they're coming.
We got the lead men timing truck. They're at 15:44 coming by us, a little bit faster than the women. The women were at about 18:40. There are 2 Americans in this lead pack, hopefully.
Well, let's see if we can catch number 21,
Yep.
Ian Burrell, as he speeds by.
Yep. So we have the men's press truck going by us. It's quite a feat. Our first runner coming by is Igarashi,
And he's got
number 23.
He's got a good lead on it,
Yep,
but,
yeah, quite a lead on the
I
pack.
don't think it makes much difference here at the 3-mile mark with the Kenyans, the Ethiopians.
Right, as we've seen with many of these, it's not necessarily who's out front first.
That's right.
I did not see Burrell there. Hopefully we'll see him here. There he is, one of the American lead runners, number 21.
So it is impressive. I'm assuming that these guys run close to a 4-minute mile, and it's just amazing that they're able to do this for 26.2 miles.
Yeah, based on the records that I was looking at, they'll be in Boston within anywhere from 2 hours and 5 minutes to 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Very impressive, but I'm sure the weather today, it's upwards of 70 degrees. It's going to take a little bit of toll out of all the runners.
It's a great day for spectators, but a day like this is not great for the runners.
Yeah, and compared to last year with the rain and the coolness, this is dramatically different. So.
Yep. So we have some more of the lead runners, the elite pack. I believe the red is again a different group than the yellow tags that we see for the elite.
So a wave. Now the wave is starting to come of the first wave of runners.
Okay, so the red tags are probably the first wave that left just after the elite men. So yes, yeah.
And our group of fundraising runners are typically, I think, in either wave 3 or 4. So.
Right, and we're hoping to speak with a few of them. A few of them have said that if they can see me and it makes sense, they will stop. So hopefully we'll get a few of them. But yep, this is definitely the first big wave after the elite men coming through.
Yeah, so it is. It's incredible. I mean, this is just the perfect vantage point to see just the wave of humanity that rolls down the hills from Hopkinton. But I think we would be remiss, Yolanda, if we didn't talk about the fact that it all started here.
That's true. The Boston Marathon, when it first started, all started in Ashland. And then because they changed the course to be 26.2, and because John Hancock became one of the major sponsors, they decided to, I'm sorry, it was when the Prudential Company became a major sponsor, was when they moved the finish line. And between moving the finish line, so it was closer to the Prudential Center in Boston, and wanting to be 26.2, they had to push it out to Hopkinton.
That's right. So very interesting story. You know, 1897, the first Boston Marathon started here in Ashland at what was then Metcalf's Mill, over where the location of Marathon Park is now. And it ran from that start line right through 1924. The actual Olympic distance of the marathon, 26.2, was created in 1908. It wasn't adopted for the Boston until 1924. So interesting history, but
yeah, it did all start here in Ashland.
That's right. The message is it all started here.
So we're moving over. We were a little closer, and now you really see the waves of people coming by. This is such a great shot, watching them all the way through this area of 135.
It'd be interesting to speak to some of these folks as to what their training regimen was in preparation for this. I'm sure in this first wave, many these folks have probably done many marathons in their athletic careers. But
these are the people who have qualified by running other marathons or half marathons, and they're invited to come and do Boston. And the field was capped at 30,000, and that includes the people who have qualified and the people who are doing it for charity.
So yeah, it's just a great vantage point here outside of Honeydew and Wine Empire and
Marathon Deli. Yeah, Marathon Deli, appropriate name. It's making me hungry.
So hopefully at the end of, once the waves get through, our local businesses will reap some of the benefits of the crowds here today.
Good. Let's hope so. Turned around. We have the runners coming from our back. We are on the island right at the top of 135 as it heads into the intersection with Summer Street and Cherry Street. This is the first wave coming through. Steve, thoughts on this first wave?
Given the number in this first wave, I think we're going to be stuck on this island for quite a while, but it's just an impressive wave of humanity that flows down from the start line, and it's just an iconic event, not just for Ashland, but just for the whole Metro West Boston area.
Well, and what's really cool is we've turned around. We were watching them come down. You can now see them run, and then you can see them start up that other hill. Past years, we've stood at the Telecom building, so this is a very different view. This wave probably has about 10,000 because there's 30,000 runners, so the first wave probably 10,000, and then or maybe a little less because they're in 4, but yeah, it's amazing. And what I always find interesting is the names on the people's shirts and where they're coming from to run this race. I mean, this is truly a world class and a world event.
Sure, yeah, and it's not just the elite runners that come from all over the world. I mean, these folks that aren't necessarily running to win the race, but are here for the competition, their own personal challenge, come from all over the world. So it's just amazing to see the faces and just the nationalities, the diversity of the field.
Stay with us. So we've turned ourselves around. We are now watching the runners come toward us. You are seeing them pass by us. We have Rite Aid in the back. As you can hear, the volume has increased. We have cowbells, we have people cheering, and this is truly what makes this a great thing to do here in Ashland.
Well, I think Ashland really steps up to support the runners, and as you say, there's cowbells. The crowds have really swelled, and as you move down towards the Telecron building, they've gotten bigger and bigger. There's the parties going on in all the houses that look like a lot of fun. And in some years they've probably gone a little overboard, but it's all great stuff and just part of that tradition on the course as they move through Framingham and move through. They meet the ladies of Wellesley shortly, so it's a great event. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah. And this is a great vantage point. We've done it a lot of times up on the Telecron building, but certainly sort of being in the sea of runners is the energy and the smiles on their faces still. They're just coming through Ashland their first few miles, and hopefully they'll still be smiling and proud of what they accomplished at the end of this.
So last night we should probably mention that there's the midnight run to Boston. It's been an annual bicycle ride tradition.
So did you do it this year?
I did not do it. I was invited to do it, and I'm kicking myself at this point. My good friend Joel Loitherstein did it, and so kudos to him. And so I will either I'm going to make a commitment right now. I'm going to either do one or two things next year. I'm either going to do the bicycle ride at midnight, or I'm going to run the marathon. So.
Oh. You've heard it here first, folks. Either the bike ride at midnight. I think the bike ride might be easier for you because you do a lot of bike riding.
Well, I do a lot of bike riding, but this is the marathon is something I think for a lot of folks that aren't necessarily runners would like to do one time in their lifetime as a challenge. So, I am going to I'm going to ponder it for a little bit.
Ponder it. Okay. You ponder, and when you make a decision, let us know. And hopefully, maybe you'll be one of our charity runners for next year.
If I do decide to run, I will definitely want to be, fundraise for Ashland. No question.
Great. Okay. Well, believe it or not, the first wave is starting to slow down just a little bit. It may not seem that way, and we'll be waiting for wave 2, 3, and 4. And we know a number of our charity runners are in the later waves. Wave 2, and now we have Erin Williams with us. Erin, welcome, and thanks for coming back to Around the Clock.
Oh, thanks for having me, Yolanda.
Now, it's a special day for Erin because she's not running, but her husband Phil is running. How do you feel about all that?
I'm really proud of him, first and foremost. To balance work and a PhD program and marathon training is a lot. I'm slightly nervous, though, being the wife. I'm just... oh God, it's hot, oh God, this, so I'm just a little nervous, but it's a really emotional day. I always cry on Marathon Monday, no matter what. Like, when those wheelchairs go through, or the girl that lost her leg in the bombing, like, you just well up, and I've cried with just seeing my friends go by, so I can't imagine what it's gonna be like when I see him go by.
Do you have the tissues in your pocket?
No, but there's waterproof mascara on.
Okay.
Yeah, and the sunglasses are gonna help.
So as he was training, and we got to talk to Phil a little bit the other day, how did you support him in his training?
You know, it's like block and tackle. So, okay, maybe this dinner time we have to do alone and he's downstairs on the treadmill running. Or I'm taking the kids somewhere and he's out for a run. And it's just more balancing it and allowing him to have the time. Like, you know, young parents don't have a lot of free time anyway, and we're so involved in town that cuts into it even more. So just really like giving him the space that he needed, and probably like a little extra nudging when he needed it too.
Now, you're an Ashland resident, born and raised. Do you remember watching your first marathon?
I don't know if it was my first, but I can tell you what that day felt like. And I was standing right over there, like right in front of the sign for the K Plaza. I remember having like a paper cut on my finger and still having my hand out, and the feeling of like wet, sweaty, salty hands hitting my paper cut, and I didn't care. It was so awesome. And some guy took off his t-shirt and gave it to me. It was from like the Los Angeles I think Olympics. I think the '84 Olympics were in LA, and it was like that t-shirt, and that was just such a memorable day. And I think I've only missed 2 or 3, and that was when we didn't live in Massachusetts, and that's the only years I didn't live here. Wow. So everybody knows where we sit, which is right down on the corner by Rite Aid. My friends always know the night before where our sign's going to get tacked up, and you know,
So you have a traditional spot that you go to?
Yes, yeah. Somewhere, you know, within these few like 50 yards, depending on who, you know, how big the crowds are and how rowdy my kids are going to be and if they need grass to go play on or not. So like when we had the baby and he was like just starting to crawl, we were right over here because it's a nice little grass patch for him to play in.
Good. What's your favorite memory of a Boston Marathon?
My favorite memory was the first year after my son Chase was born, and seeing Dick and Rick Hoyt run by and finally understanding from a parent's perspective that sort of love. I lost it. Like that to me was just so emotional. Seeing them and then having the heart of a parent then to understand that, yeah, I would do that too. And I would do anything for my kid the way he is. We were actually trying to fall asleep last night. Phil was a little excited, having trouble calming down, understandably. And we put on a podcast of listening to Dick Hoyt talk, and hearing him talk about the evolution of their running and how sore he was after the first one. And I didn't say anything to Phil. I go, oh God, 2 weeks of being sore, you know. Maybe shouldn't expect him at work tomorrow.
Okay. Well, hopefully he's taking the day off.
He hasn't, but I think you got Michael in.
Might be calling
in. Yeah.
Okay, so for people who are watching who don't know, Phil Williams, Aaron's husband, is actually the energy manager here in Ashland. So he works in town hall. So if you don't see him tomorrow, we understand why.
Right.
Okay, Aaron, thanks for watching this, and let's watch a few more of these runners go by.
Awesome.
Changed our vantage point. We're a little closer to the crowds, and you hear the cowbells and the yelling, but you can see the runners going into the slight uphill. They've just come off of a downhill, and then they'll have an uphill as they head toward the Telecron building and head out of Ashland. Aaron, you said you've been here all the time, so why do you like this spot?
Well, one, it's where we live on. You kind of pick your location every year based on what side of town you live on. So the south side of town, there's certain spots that are hot spots. And I think for those of us that live on the north and northwest side of town, being here is pretty easy, but also if you have kids, to be able to go back and forth between the waves and go to Kids Spot, that just makes the day more tolerable.
Yeah, we used to go to the Pitaway. So you sit by the Pitaway and you'd go in and play with those at that playground, and
that's a great spot.
So we've talked to a couple of the businesses that are here in Ashland. We talked to Wine Empire, we talked to Rite Aid, but there are also a few people that have put some tents up. As a member of the school committee, I know you've talked about Yes for Ashland.
Yeah, Yes for Ashland has a tent up, and it's great on a day like today for people to see them here, and if they have questions, to be able to ask those questions. And it's important, we're starting to see the signs up around town, and it's nice. I think we might finally get there this year.
So tell us a little bit more about what Yes for Ashland is.
So Yes for Ashland is they are promoting voting yes on the 2 override questions that'll be on the May 17th ballot. And so if you go to yesforashland, I believe .org or .com, I think it's .org. There's lots of information about the override, but they host coffees. I'm actually hosting a coffee next Monday where you can meet with the town manager and the superintendent, get a little more information about why this is so necessary for the town. And they're just promoting it really well in social media and then also in print and just being really great advocates. I mean, hats off to Michelle and Betsy. They've done a wonderful job.
Okay. So not only do we have the main businesses, but other businesses and other organizations are here supporting the runners, but also just talking to people and getting some information out. We are here with Doug and Juliana of Marathon Deli. They're one of the other businesses here along Route 35. And it's Marathon Deli. They make great sandwiches. And the best. So what's a day like this for you, Doug?
Today it's our namesake. It's Marathon Deli, and it's kind of a slow day, but it's a good day for the community. Everyone's out. It's a beautiful day, and just here to have fun. Everyone to get together.
Good.
Plus my little girl's right here. First marathon.
First marathon, and probably not her last.
Nope, not at all.
I think she likes the microphone.
She is. She's grabbing the mic, huh?
Yes. So, Doug, how long has Marathon Deli been in business?
It's been in business. This will be our 19th year. We were down the street for 12 years, and we've been here for 6. So we're going on almost 19 years.
Good. And what's your favorite part about being here in Ashland and having your business here in Ashland?
Well, I mean, Ashland is a small community, and it's great. I mean, I know probably 98% of my customers that come in here. I mean, you come in all the time.
I come in all the time.
And it's, people's sandwiches, what they eat, and it's just a good sense of community and right here in Ashland, so it's good.
Are you an Ashland resident?
Yes, I am. I live here in town too, so it's good. It's it's everything. I live here, work here. It's great.
Good. What's your favorite thing about Ashland?
Ashland, just how tight it is. It's a lot of people know each other, and everyone gets together and helps each other out in this town. It's a good town to live in. It's a great town.
Well, thanks to talking with us. Oh, she made it through. So we're in between Wave 3 and Wave 4 of the Boston Marathon, and we now have Michael Herbert, Ashland Town Manager, with us. Michael, how are things going here in Ashland today?
Well, so far so good. We have all members of our public safety department out here. We got a lot of supporters out here, showing support for all the runners. It's a uniquely Boston event and a uniquely Metro West event, so we're all happy to be out here.
So I have to say, I loved seeing the public works trucks blocking roads and making sure nothing got through. How many other towns are here in Ashland helping support our police and public safety?
So we have a couple of other towns posted at each end. So Hopkinton and Framingham both help out. This is a real regional type of event, so we have people in at the MEMA bunker up in Framingham. Members of basically every town that has that the marathon goes through has a representative there as well. So again, we're all just about helping each other and making sure things go as smoothly as possible.
Now, you're not from Massachusetts originally, but so how many marathons have you watched?
Well, I've watched plenty. I haven't run any yet. So
you haven't run any? No. Are you going to join Steve? Steve has considered running next year with the one of our numbers.
Oh, I'll consider it. Let's leave. Running is a relative term, so But no, it's just great to watch the competitive spirit of this just great event.
Good. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes and talking with us. Enjoy the rest of the day. We have moved our vantage point. We are now coming down the hill a little further. This is now the 4th wave of the marathon coming through. And this is where the charity runners who are running for the Ashland Board of Selectmen Charity Organization are running. We are also hoping to grab Phil Williams, our energy manager. We had the opportunity to speak with Aaron Williams. He has promised he'd stop and talk with us, so we'll see what happens. We also have Jacob Guggenheim, and 2 of our Mendez teachers are running, Lauren and Kelly. Maybe they'll stop. And it's a hot day for a run. There is a little bit of a breeze starting now. but we'll see who we can grab and who we can talk to as this fourth wave, majority of charity runners, go by us. So in this group, we could potentially see the runners that are running for the National Organization for Running for Rare Diseases, or NORD, and they said they're going to have NORD on their shirts. We are also looking for Jess Kelly and Lauren Perry, and a few other runners here from Ashland, as well as Jacob Guggenheim, as they run the 26.2 miles for charity for Ashland. So as you see this wave of runners come through, you see a lot of them with different team shirts, because the majority of these people are running for charities. So we've seen for Children's Hospital, for Dana-Farber, for other organizations that do fundraising. I just saw two runners that are blind, and they're running with a guide runner. And again, they're all running for charity for whatever organization that they are running to support. Michael's Miracle is a shirt going by. Brigham and Women's Hospital. Team Ioneer. So this guy, the Boston Children's Hospital runners. Running for the Boston. Okay, that was I don't know what to say. He surprised me, but that was Jacob Guggenheim, who's running to help with the BAA marathon money that we collect. raising funds, and they have either someone that they're running for or some charity, and they're doing it for the love of it, and they're not worried about the time, but they are running, and they need just as much support, if not more, as we have them run through Ashland.
Got him.
And here we have Phil Williams, who's running for Ashland, and we're going to walk him past his family. We're going to walk past your family, just you don't want to stop. Okay, Phil, we're with you. You can do this all the way. Okay. So the last of the runners are making their way through Ashland. We just had the opportunity to encourage Phil Williams, who's running, an Ashland employee, an Ashland resident, and also running for our BAA grant program. Thanks to Phil for stopping and taking a few minutes. We have heard that the elite men and women have finished. 2 Ethiopians have won the race for this year. And we're going to wrap up our coverage with a little bit of last footage and some music as we close it up here in Ashland for the 120th running of the Boston Marathon. So as we're finishing our coverage, we've found some very enthusiastic fans of the Boston Marathon. Girls, tell me your names.
Hi, I'm Maddie Klepper.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Benedictus.
Hi, I'm Amanda Syatt.
And you girls live here in Ashland?
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you think of the marathon?
I love it. It's really fun to watch, and it's fun to support all the runners.
I love how there's so many people like alongside the road cheering all the people on.
Yeah, I just love cheering and supporting, and it's just really like inspiring.
Okay, well, girls, give us your best last cheer for the Boston Marathon.
Woo!